Why do we do that? I'm gonna look cute. Why do we do that? Is it because of this? Is that because of this thing?
I have no clue. I really don't, but I just know that they're like, "Pose, pose." I don't know, frame your face.
Is it a fair? Okay, you know what? When I think of this, I think of maybe because it's a spooky season. I'm like, are you a
Mm.
headless person, like a bodiless, like a floating head? That's what I've always thought as a kid. Anyway,
And
it's my sense of humor.
it is oh, I love your sense of humor, by the way. I love it. It entertains me on a daily basis. But anyhow, guys, happy Saturday. Yay! This is a very special weekend for me. You probably already read it, but it's a culmination of celebrations and launchings of like different things. And so I thank you so much for being here, for all the celebratory messages that I've received over the week, for from people who already know it's my birthday. I'm celebrating. Gosh, I am reminiscing a lot of stuff. I've been reflecting this week, and you've heard me reflect in some ways or others.
You know what? You love deeply, you reflect deeply, and that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trait to have, my friend.
Yes, and I do wear my heart on my sleeve, and sometimes people take advantage of that, and sometimes like you adore that part of me and that side of me that remains intact. It remains authentic, and it keeps me human. It keeps me grounded, and mhm.
You keep me human. You inspire me.
Oh my god. But you know what? No, the funny thing is, like, I always feel like my birthday gets lost because it's lumped right there with Halloween.
Mm.
So I'm just like, ugh. So I decided to wear fall colors, Halloweenish colors today. I was just like, fine, I'll accept it. But yes, it's always, I love it though, because the climate here is really nice and I can still wear cute dresses, while celebrating. So are you dressing up for Halloween, madame?
You know what's really funny? I love Halloween. I love people who go all out in the decorations. I myself am not a decorator, and I used to think I was a dresser upper, but that takes a lot of effort. And you know me, like it's very difficult just to put normal makeup on. The idea of Halloween makeup, just no. I am a Halloweener, but I'm more of a what do you call it? A visual, like a lurker. I'm a Halloween lurker.
You're a lurker, but you're not a lurker on LinkedIn, which is interesting. Look at you. I'm just kidding.
Well, again, it's because I don't have to wear makeup all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Case in point.
That's true. All right, so my girls, one of them is gonna be my Mirabel from Encanto, my little one. You remember the movie? Probably not. No, because yes,
I don't
yes.
have children. I mean, I know
Yeah,
of
I was gonna say that. I was gonna yeah, maybe not. And the other one's gonna be a Greek goddess. I'm like, okay, girl, go do your thing. So yes, but I will post those pictures later. So I know we love to share those pictures. But thank you, Steven, mi hermano querido. Muchísimas gracias por tus saludos. Thank you. Everybody's just like, oh my gosh, happy birthday. But yes, we're gonna party. So my family is throwing a party for me later today, and so I'm excited. I'm excited. It's gonna be a costume party, but and yeah, so it's a time to be together, and I really need it. After this week, I really need that. Just all the hugs and the good vibes that I can get.
Hey, just remember one thing, if I may interject, without going into too much detail. Sometimes things in life are going to be always on an up, but a lot of times there's always a come down, right? And this might have been a hiccup, but understand it never diminishes the power of a hug. It doesn't diminish the power of you continuing to love. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
just a little hiccup in the road. You learn and you move on. And I
Mm.
think that's a big thing. And I know you. You give wholeheartedly, and you know what? Sometimes you can receive those hugs back when you need it and take it when everyone hugs you this week, okay?
Yes, I'll take it. And that's a mini episode of CSS. But anyhow, guys, not to downplay anything, but I am super elated. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for everyone who's, like I said, outpoured support and love throughout the week. You guys have been so amazing, and I love you, hounds. Golly, like I cannot even begin to say how much I love you. And before I start crying, let's make sure that we run the intro before we forget, because we always do that.
I know we do. I know. I know. And you would think as your producer, I would probably be in charge of that better, but I get so excited with all your little stories and stuff. All right, let's do this, girl.
Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner.
And dance and dance and dance. I'm gonna make it longer than today. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, we're doing the robot today? Okay.
Well, only because there's some comments on another chat. They're like, "Oh, the AI robots here." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. I get it.
Well,
Whatevs."
I mean, it goes with the theme today. We are talking about AI and EI, y'all. So that is the beautiful part of the show. And I was looking forward to this because not only do I have a stellar guest, but it's just, the closure of a chapter for me and the beginning of a new one. Ooh, that came out so
It is.
beautiful. Wow.
What
So
what are you,
before
waxing poetic?
y'all,
Go ahead.
I must do full disclosure. I don't prep for shows. I really, this is all organic. This is all authentic. It's just coming out. And this is what I tell my guests every time they come. I say, hey, do you want me to have some, things prepared for you, or do we just wing it? And most of the time, they're like, yeah, let's just be authentic. Well, this is what I'm about. I'm who I am on and off camera. So this is what you get. I'm just kidding. But anyhow, shout out to everyone who's pulling up in the comments. Please let us know where you're, commenting from, which country. I know we have a global audience and an international audience. I love when you tell me which country because I just, I love traveling and I love visiting different places. So I live vicariously through you. Hello, Corey. Shout out to you, boo. Thank you so much for showing up on this wonderful Saturday. Isabel, merci beaucoup, madame. And it's amazing. It's amazing to be surrounded with individuals who always support you, show up for you, and are there, without expecting anything in return. That's
Right.
ecosystem.
That's the big one.
Yes, without expecting anything in return. Janice, good morning, love. So let us know what you're gonna dress up if you celebrate Halloween, right? I know some people don't, so gotta be respectful. What's your costume? What are you gonna be? And then also, what you're looking forward to in the next, month to complete, just because we're around giving thanks. Next month we're going to be giving thanks. So but for my part, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I've been reflecting a lot this week. I've turning the big 4-0, y'all, like 4-0. That is crazy.
Wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Welcome to the club.
It's crazy for me to say, because I was thinking back, I was like, oh my gosh, when I was 20, and I was like, yeah, now I'm twice that age. But you know what the beauty of this is, that the wisdom that I've gained throughout these last 20 years, and going back to when I was in college, it's monumental, the experiences and how they shape you. So I feel 20 in my heart, in my mind. I feel young, but obviously I have to behave and act like an adult. Not really. I really
Do
don't.
you really have
Not
to? I
really.
mean, seriously.
My dad tells me, he's 75, and my dad tells me, oh my gosh, you're such a baby. You're barely starting, life. And this is when your best years are gonna, pop up. And I'm like, are they? And I really do truly believe that. Having experienced the last 3 years that I've experienced, being able to be who I am in my heart and being able to go after my dreams, I feel like I've gotten a renewed chance in life. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful. And this year, in a sense, God, just the leaps and bounds of progression and personal growth that have happened. I just wish everybody was able to experience that in their lives. But if you're not there, make sure you surround yourselves with a fantastic community of people, a circle of support. Sounds very culty, right? But it's not.
I mean, look, I'm trying to catch up. I'm always so hella behind on your comments. So I'm trying to like discreetly do these comments, but anyone that doesn't know this show or doesn't know anything about us, just look at the chat, read the chat, get to know these people in the chat because they're the ones that are showing up. They're the ones that are not asking for anything in return. They're just good, amazing people. For example, CJ, Dr. CJ, Dr. Constance Leland. Like, hey girl, I may be behind here, but I know she's dressing up for Halloween. She just went to like 4 different like horror cons.
Yes.
So I'm sure she's going to be dressing up as something.
Yes.
Um
Yes.
so yeah, no, I mean, just get to know everyone here. I mean, Nicole, Nick was part of the team, and you know what? She talk about someone leading with all. She's all actually all heart at times. I'm like, damn, girl. Okay,
Shout out to her, Nicole's sister. Mi hermana, te quiero mucho. Love you so much. And I applaud you for everything that you've accomplished. And the new project that you're launching as the Gifted Bipolar Writer. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. And I cannot wait to join you in that. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Like, again, one of the individuals who just grew leaps and bounds, with a supportive community. So, and obviously natural talented. That you can't deny that. But anyhow, guys, I want to, like I said, give you a shout out. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done this week. We have so many things working up and cooking up in the back, though, don't we, Miss Sia?
we do, we do. So let's before we forget, let's thank our sponsors. And thank you so much, guys. Without you guys helping us, it would make this a little bit less painful, I guess, or more painful if we didn't have your support. So Tausi Brands, Janice Shokrian, she is actually the patented CEO and founder. She's actually in the comments right now, you guys, and she is part of the Hounds community. But Tausi Brands pillowcase. So this is one component of it. It is a patent pillowcase that actually has an integrated support for both lumbar and or neck support, just depending on what you need in life. And so I've got it right here. It's a built-in, and it's really hella cool, guys. Check it out. And this little additional thing, you can do it for use it for so many different purposes. For tailbone support for those like for me. But yeah, guys, check it out. Tausi Brands. And if you guys do purchase through Raquel, I do know she's extending a Hounds discount. So type in promo code HOUNDS. And as the founder of Brilliant Beam Media and a huge advocate and supporter for Tausi, because she is an entrepreneur, just like so many of us, for every 10 Tausi sold, I will be happy to purchase a Tausi and donate to a cause or for an organization. So I'm still working with Janice on confirming who would be we'd be donating that to. And if you guys have suggestions, let us know because I'm all for it. Nonprofits. Sorry, Mike, you are a for-profit. So you will not be qualified for that. But speaking of Mike
My
Ashabrainer, who's camping right now, who'd normally be harassing us, guy in the middle.
I know, brother. You deserve that so much. You've been working so hard this entire year. So, shout out to you. If you don't know who Mike Asherbanner is, my gosh, where have you been? If you haven't heard who the Hounds are, my gosh, you need to contact us. We're just a community of entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals from all walks of lives and in industries who come together and support one another in a very nurturing ecosystem, an environment that will fully support you in whatever realm you're diving into, whether it's you're a newbie in entrepreneurship, whether you're a seasoned professional and have created so many businesses. We have such it's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain it when like you're in it and you feel it. It's been an amazing year, and part of this community has given me literally everything that I have right now, physically, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, the support that I needed to get through the darkest days of my lives in the last 2 years. So I've grown.
3 a.m. calls people. The woman calls me at 3 a.m. kvetching about something. So if you can't do that kind of thing, find a community where you can. Because seriously, there's some folks that we don't even know that well that like we'll have a group chat and it'll be like midnight and they'll be like, anybody up for a talk? And it's like, boom. It's just the desire to help empower one another and rise each other up, like all ships rise with the tide.
Yes, you
Or as I
do.
like to say, we have our own inner lights. And when we combine our lights together, especially for those that are dimmed in that dark time,
Mhm.
we become one big brilliant beam together. So that
Aw.
leads into Brilliant Beam Media, which is my company. I'm a digital content creation agency. We do consulting, production, post-production, social media engagement. And for an example of such, I'd like to give a shout out, if you don't mind, to one of my clients. Do you mind
Have
me
at
sharing
it,
me
producer.
let me suck up a few seconds of our time. I'd like to share a new show that is going to be launched, and it is called Checkpoint Real Talk. And it is basically How many of you guys are in technology, and how many of you guys wish you knew technology better? All we're doing is we're making technology a little bit more fun, and we are
Mm.
reacting to TV and movies on how they depict technology and cybersecurity, in media. So it's lighthearted. It is going to be a much more of a profile of us enjoying some re 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 looking at some of our favorite shows to see the accuracy of things. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Are you looking for something a little more FUN and less FUD when it comes to technology and cybersecurity in TV and media? Enjoy Checkpoint Real Talk.
I am so stoked for this show. No joke. Like I am, I'm about learning and catching up with some of that pop culture that I don't know about, and especially now infusing technology into it. Oh my gosh, everybody, tech is like the big thing right now, so we need to. Yes.
Well, tech is like the underpinning of our entire society and culture. If no one is like, no one can say they don't rely on technology in some capacity, right? I mean, there's so many people with Alexa and all that stuff too, Siri and all that. So there's a lot going on, guys. It's our view of it, and it'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully, you guys join us for the live streams. It'll be on Wednesdays, 10 a.m. for 30 minutes. So
Woo.
that was my unabashed. And then speaking of cybersecurity, and this is just
Ooh.
a one-off. They don't even know I'm pitching them. So this is a group of guys that I know, amazing people, Michael Pratt and Logan Spates. I love you guys. We just did the digital Fight Club marketing edition last week. Next, or this coming Thursday, it's going to be Digital Fight Club Cybersecurity. So this is right now fairly local, but they have spread out to multiple cities. And I swear to God, the concept around Digital Fight Club, you guys, it's really fun. How many people are tired of the standard panel where they bring 4 top level executives and they just do a Q&A with each one, and you're just sitting there in the audience going, wow, this is boring AF, right? So what they've decided to do is they literally will take they quote referees, which are usually endpoint end customers, right? And then they will have fighters that will take a point on each side, like a concept. So for cybersecurity, I'm not going to say what their topic is, but for example, it'd be something to the effect of, do you use AI to improve your cybersecurity profile? So there's going to be a pro and there's going to be a con. And someone's going to argue, yeah, AI for automation, automate some of those mundane tasks so your cybersecurity team can focus on other things. And the other side is there's danger in relying on automated tools and all that good stuff. So, I mean,
Wow.
it's very interesting, and it's fun because like you get 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds to rebut each other, and it's done. And then you vote. The room votes. And it's a ruckus party. Like you guys, it is the most fun networking event, and you get to know everybody. The referees get to have a lot of fun. So, guys, if you're not familiar, Digital Fight Club, it is right now in Dallas. They had one in Houston, and they will be spreading throughout 2024. So stay tuned. Anyone in the Dallas Fort Worth area, definitely come join us. Digital Fight Club Cybersecurity. And no, I'm not paid for them. I just love them. And I might have been a ref in 2019.
Yes,
So
you were. Yes, you were. I saw all the posts and pictures. It's amazing, guys. But do you see the amazing things that the communities has going on? All the different projects, and like I said, from all industries. So just reach out to us. We don't bite. Just reach out. We're here to help and support one another. And talking about AI, right? Talking about technology. We're talking about so many of these things, but we never we need to remember that the emotional part of it, the human side of it. And I am so happy and honored, honestly, to have the guest we have today. The way he has revamped and just the vision that he had for collaborating in this book. I am just like I love the stories, all the stories that the authors have. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring him up. He's been waiting patiently in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce him.
welcome, sir.
His journey as a talented child, but spanning from academia to sports and just writing, he became like a professional mentor and a professional soccer. his story is just inspirational, and he's the true embodiment of a resilience and transformationist. So besides being a best-selling author, he's an entrepreneur and a passionate advocate for community causes. So you know how much that means to me. So please join me in welcoming a remarkable gentleman, Mr. Paul D. Lowe.
Woohoo!
Yes, I'm so excited to have you here today. Thank you. Thank you. How are you?
To quote a bit of French that you used earlier on, Raquel, très bien, monsieur, très bien.
Oh, très bon. That is so awesome. Yes, Mr. Paul, I am so excited. I know we've had quite a week. We're both celebrating our birthday, so it's also Mr. Paul's birthday. So happy birthday!
Oh my God, you're just gonna make me use a pause all day. Okay. Wait, does that mean this is an opportunity for Syya to
Sing.
inject her singing to
Yes,
you guys tonight?
yes.
Oh wait, I cannot. Trust me. If you want listeners to stay on, do not let me do this solo. So on a count of three, let's all sing for each other. 1, 2, 3. Happy
Birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you.
Happy
To
birthday
you.
to you,
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
dear.
dear
Raquel and
everyone.
Paul.
Happy
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 birthday.
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Yay! I'm so excited. Okay, so that was like in ripples, right? So I'm gonna do my version, okay? And this
Okay.
is for Mr. Paul. Definitely, I'm dedicating it, but it's for the love. So, feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a ti. Feliz cumpleaños a Paul. Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Woo!
Yay!
I can do this all day long, guys. I can hit that button all day
I
long.
know she really enjoys doing that. But Mr. Paul, thank you again, and happy birthday to you. And I know that the book meant so much to you because it was launched on your birthday, and so that's kind of like a similar thing that we got going on. That I wanted to be part of that as well, and make sure that I celebrate it as a closure of a chapter for my life, and an opening of a new page for another chapter. So please let the audience know a little bit about who you are, and then we dive deep into what the book is about.
Okay, so as you've already alluded to, yeah, quite a. I don't want to go into the detail because now we don't want to kind of impinge upon this massively
Mm.
powerful, loving energy. But my upbringing was just, let's say, extremely dark and challenging. But there was something there actually throughout it all. I mean, it's interesting, the old accountancy term, work on the business, not in it. But I was in it and I was on it at the same time. I mean, obviously, as a child, I didn't have the intellectual uh, ability to know what was playing out. I was too busy surviving. But I knew from a very, very early age how different I was. I never fitted in with my peers, apart from if we'd got a football, and that was a different story. Because football, as I'm sure we're aware, sport, be it whatever, music's a massive passion, but it's a kind of universal language. And so for me, football was the only thing that I could relate to the outside or my peers with, because on other things I was labeled, and this is why I've got such a disdain for labels. I was actually labeled at an early age as a child genius. Now, I didn't know what that meant, but because of my upbringing, I saw the damage that labels can cause with people. He is this, she is that, the backstabbing, the negativity, and all that. And I don't know what it was, but I come from a generation where the saying was, children should be seen and not heard.
Right.
And if we went to visit somebody, I was warned, you sit in there, you speak when you're spoken to, and don't dare say anything. Well, that for me was like a red rag to a bull, not because I wanted significance or attention. It's like, this is just not right. You'd be in the living room or the parlor, as we used to call it in those days, and people be having a conversation and they'd be like really ripping to pieces somebody was in the kitchen or not arrived yet. And then when they come, they was really nice to them. And that taught me at an early age about this need for authenticity, being true to yourself,
Yes.
being true to others. So my upbringing was very, very, very challenging. My mother remarried when I was 8. Before then, I had the blessed gift of two matriarchs, my mother and my grandmother, and my faithful canine, Rocky. I mean, there was the
Mhm.
four of us. We lived together. We were incredibly poor, poverty stricken, but boy, were we happy.
Mm. Mm.
It's amazing. That old Beatles. To keep the music theme alive.
Mm.
Money can't buy me love.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we know it's a powerful energy. It's an immensely powerful energy. But blimey, where does it compare to love? That's a whole new question altogether. But I was immersed in this love, this energy, this power from these two beautiful matriarchs and Rocky, my faithful canine. But that changed when I was 8 and my mother remarried. And what happened then was basically my mother was a secret drinker to hide the pain of what she was going through, and basically my new father, rather than my new stepfather, rather than bringing love and support into the family, he brought, and this is a strong word, and I'm mindful of using words because words have power and energy, as we know.
Mm.
This man brought evil into our lives. And I do not say that lightly, but he brought evil in. Now, to cut a long story short, the beatings that I took, because he basically just wanted to control my mother, and
Mm.
I was kind of, an unwanted accessory. And so my mother would step in and, try and protect, and she'd get the beating as well. And and this was daily,
Mm.
by the way, and it got
My goodness.
reported at school. But I come from a generation, I went to an all boys grammar school, which was steeped in very traditional kind of almost military like, well, you must have been doing something wrong then to warrant that. So
Mhm.
just suck it up and get on with it, boy, because big boys don't cry.
Mhm.
For a
Mhm.
kid to deal with this is just horrible, and that's
Yeah.
being polite. And I look back on those years, and that for me was where the grounding. And as I say, at the time, I had nowhere near the intellectual kind of awareness to understand what was playing out. But there was
Mhm.
in and a strength that kind of says, just keep going, just keep going,
Mhm.
just keep going. And in terms of the physical pain, I kind of got used to that. If I'd got a cut lip or a broken nose, it was kind of a badge of honor. Oh, the boy's been in a fight again. So you kind of get used to that. But the emotional pain, I never did. And so
Mhm.
I turned to drink at a very early age. My mother was a secret drinker. And that set my tone. I found out where her secret stash was, and found, I just immersed myself. At the age of 10, I was diagnosed with psychological addiction to alcohol, and that prevailed throughout, well, decades. I mean, it's only relatively recently, 13 and a half years, that I've been dry. And I say relatively recently. So there's this whole kind of, I think, lessons learned, really. And I know it's almost cliche, but I am so, so, so grateful for everything that happened,
Mm.
because it happened for a reason. And even though I didn't understand it, I hated it. And it put me in many dark, desperate places. I've lost some fantastic relationships over the
Mm.
years, both personal and professional, through my drinking, through my erratic behavior, my emotional outbursts. But it's interesting how we come through that, and we still wear our heart on our sleeves.
Mhm. I mean, we were just talking about this, backstage, sharing a little bit of what I I kinda sort of been going through, but and you nailed it, in that sense that, we still, despite our faults, despite our tribulations, and despite being done wrong, we bounce back and we continue wearing our hearts in our sleeves because that's who we are innately in our core. And I mean, first and foremost, I'm so sorry for everything that you've been through. We share similarities in our background, upbringing, but now we're using those experiences to say, okay, we are no longer silenced. Whether we're able to voice it, excuse me, or write it, we're going to do it. We're going to get the message across to make sure that individuals have that ability to say, I can do this and I can put myself out there and share my stories of vulnerability in hopes of inspiring the next generation, right? Or heal, as I call it, because at this moment, I'm still healing in my journey. I don't know if you would agree with that.
I would, Raquel, I would agree with that. And I think I can remember having this conversation. I was in California 7 or 8 years ago. I went to a Deepak Chopra's seminar. And there was a young American lady asked the question, who was in a kind of intimate group of 4. And she said, Deepak, do we ever get to the time or place when we are sorted? They were her exact words, sorted. And like all good mentors, he kind of anchored in the response by making her wait a few moments. What seemed like an absolute lifetime, it's probably, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds. But you know, when you're in that position and you ask somebody a question and it's really poignant and you want the answer, it's like, come on, tell me now, please, please, please. And that anchoring of, let me think about this. It's like, no, don't think about it, just give me the answer. And the response was this: no, but we learn to catch things a lot quicker. And that was gold dust. Because, do we ever get to a place where, whether you use the word sorted, whatever adjective you want to attach to it, I don't think we do. I don't think we do. And I think that's one of the beauties of being human, of being fallible, of being vulnerable, of being insecure, all of the above. Actually, to quote Brené Brown, these all become our strengths. Yeah. If we learn to dance with them. And I've, over the years, rightly or wrongly, because I am I kind of pride myself on looking at things from a storyteller's perspective. How can I change the rhetoric? How can I change the script? What words am I using that have got a certain energy? And do I need to change one word? Do I need to change a sentence? Do I need to change a paragraph, a book? Or do I need to get into a whole new library? Because if I need to get into a whole new library, then I'll surround myself with people that like libraries. And together we'll build libraries throughout the world if that's what it takes. So I think there's this whole kind of awareness raising, and that's part of, our evolution as humans to question ourselves. I question it daily, many times every day. What story am I really telling myself? What story am I telling myself? And the big question is it serving me? Because if it serves me well, then I'm in a position where I can give something back. If I'm in a bad place because I'm telling myself a bad story, then I'm going to transfer this energy. If I came on here, obviously on this amazing show, full of woe is me and it's raining and X or Y, it's that energy is going to transfer, and people are going to say, well, don't want that. There's a lot of external challenges in the world. But I really do honestly believe that we as individuals and collectively, of course, we have a choice how we see that, how we reframe that story. So that's kind of the space I'm in.
So, and like I said, thank you again for sharing parts of your story. I know you've written so many books, several books, too many to count. And I know that this specific book, right, that we collaborated together has a special place in your heart. Before we dive into it and talk a little bit more about it, I do want to give a shout out and do say there are other authors in the book. There's actually 9 of us. We will start naming them as we go along. But how did you get where the idea come for this book, The Recycled Teenager?
Fear, because in terms of labeling and self-identity and the story we tell ourselves, I've got a little bit of an identity, and it's something I'm working on to change the script that, and I quote inverted commas, I'm not a techie guy. Okay, Paul, maybe we need to change that story. How's that serving you? Well, it's not, but I kind of come from a generation where we use pen and paper. And in my day, when I went to, the grammar school, we was taught logs and algorithms on a slide rule. That's, there were no such things as calculators then. So algorithms had a whole new different word, a meaning to what it's got nowadays. And so for me, it's about changing that story. And it was based in fear, my own fear. And I use that word, I'm kind of using a bit of author license here to push the point. I mean, I wasn't gripped and paralyzed by fear because I'm surrounded by, some amazing people. You flagged up to already earlier on, Corey Warfield and yes. Daniel Gasser. And yes. I single those 2 guys out. And please forgive me if there's any other authors that have joined us that have not been mentioned. I'm sure they'll come to light. But these 2 guys, and Corey's been an absolute guiding light to me, not only in a technical sense, but in a brotherhood perspective. And that's really what the energy that's been infused in this book. There is some fascinating insights into it, note and diverse. Wow. But for me, what's really, really paramount is the energy that's been instilled. You know, conversations like you and I had, Raki, off air,
Yes.
conversations like I've had with every single individual around X or Y or Z, you know, that vulnerability, that sharing of what's really going off in their life. Never mind the sort of, you know, the public persona of X or Y or Z. This is around the reality of this is my world, this is my life. And when people start sharing that with you, I think we are immensely blessed. So that energy has gone into this book.
and and it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, for me, it's been an honor that I was invited. So thank you for that opportunity to continue sharing my story, because one of my main missions is to speak up, speak out, and make sure that I'm loud enough to be heard, so that the message gets across to so many different audiences, so many different just types of people, right? Because we are all carrying different burdens in our lives, and sometimes we feel misunderstood, not heard, or unvalidated. So for me, it was very important to be able to share a piece of my journey and why I do the things that I do now in my adulthood life, but that stem from my experiences in childhood. So I love, like I said, you mentioned Corey. Thank you. I see him in the comment, Daniel as well. We have Paul Kelly. We have Mr. Lars. We have Christy Johnson, Amy Moscow. Oh my gosh, there's so many individuals who are amazing. Dr. Harvey Castro. Everybody and their stories are just simply amazing, because you get to see how they see the world through their lens, right? Speaking from a technological standpoint, but also infusing that human side of emotion. And we know that EI sometimes is more important than AI. I know, Sia, we were talking about this earlier, right? How important it is to make sure that we have a delicate balance between both, but understand it. And I think the book does an excellent job in highlighting that. Wouldn't you say so? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I just want to give some more context to the fear. So, there was a bit of kind of author license in there to say that was a kind of a smaller reflection, but fear in context of the outside world, because I know there are a lot of people that are, I'm hearing it multi times every day. AI is going to take over our jobs. And so for me, this, yes, as well as a personal development tool, because I think that, as practitioners, as people, as humans, we can learn so much if we're open to learning. And so it's like, okay, so some of the shortcomings in my world, or perceived shortcomings, I'm going to go on a steep learning curve here, because I'm going to get involved with some of the best that I can come into contact with, and ask them for their perspective on whether that's finance, whether that's environmentalism, whether it's education, whether it's poverty, whatever it is. And there's these various topics where people have put their own perception and shared their own vulnerable experiences about life, but then kind of amalgamated it with this modern day phenomenon called artificial intelligence. So really the rationale and the energy and the love behind the book is really to reassure the outside world. Again, it's an antidote to fear. It's an intended antidote towards fear, and to give a fresh perspective and tell a different story about this, a lot of the scaremongering that's out there around this and I'll use the word again, this phenomenon called artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there might be a little delay. Sia?
No. Sorry about that, guys. No, I just want to do a shout out. Speaking of artificial intelligence, and the thing is, AI is a tool. If anything in life, it is something that can be a convenience for us. It will help automate a lot of different mundane tasks that is just brain, like just data entry kind of stuff, right? And I think people need to understand that that is the great way we can use it. There's always going to be the other individuals, or like, I call it the OSPF model, which is open shortest path to do anything, because I call it the lazy model of humans. And yes, there's convenience, but there's also, you could use it leverage it, but don't rely on it.
Mm.
And I think those that tend to rely on shortcuts in life are probably also folks that have probably more, I don't want to say more challenges emotionally in how they are satisfied with their life in general. Because I think there's a lot of emotional intelligence that needs to go into understanding how the world of technology can be a great tool for you. But if you're already unsatisfied as a human, nothing in the world is going to make you happier, better, faster, sleeker, whatever, or satisfy you in any way. So that's kind of like my mentality of seeing how the human side of technology can be incorporated, but I think humans will always be that variable, um, because we're human, right? That's kind of my thing on good, bad, ugly, and different. If your job and what you're doing can be automated, you may want to look at some other skills that you can do. And that has always been the case of life. I'm going to go on my rant, girl. Is this when we had the Industrial Revolution, right? It wasn't that, unfortunately, the what do you call it, the horse drivers, carriage drivers, they had to relearn a new skill. It will happen, it will evolve, but it doesn't diminish the need for a new cottage industry that will sprout as a result of that next generation of technology. So it's there. You have to have the wisdom to know that there are other ways you can, maybe your past experience as that carriage driver for horses. Maybe you understand lines, right? And that way, maybe as we look to automated cars, for example, connected cars and that whole thing. Um, Shout out to my friend out of Toyota I met at the Digital Fight Club. The connected car concept. Some people are very afraid of having no control of their car they're driving, but you know what? Maybe public transportation is going to be automated from here on out. Embrace it. What else can you do? Well, maybe that you can help learn maybe to code to show what those lines are for the most efficient routes, safest routes, etc. I mean, there's so ways you can apply what's in our human computer brain that can help sustain your role and value. So that was my 2-second side there. And I do want to do a shout out real quick for those that are commenting on mobile. LinkedIn, speaking of automated wonderful technologies and APIs syncing and not syncing, or LinkedIn just being LinkedIn. There's a lot of folks that are commenting that are on LinkedIn, and we're not seeing it on this stream because of whatever brokenness between Restream and LinkedIn. So
Yeah.
had to add to that. So thank you for those that are commenting, and I'm trying to catch up on those. Ken Dunner, I see you. Jason Wilson, I see you. Yeah, just lots of people.
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh. No, absolutely. I know it's been like that lately, to be honest with you. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about how did you get started with this idea in bringing everyone together? Because to me, like I said, we are all from different backgrounds, different industries, the collaborative authors. How did that idea, like how did it come about to bring different people like that together? Mhm.
So, wearing another hat, I'm the founder of an organization called World Game Changers, which is a not for profit. And our main four schematic areas are around poverty, around health, around education, around environmentalism. And, I got to thinking that they're obviously they're monumental issues throughout our lives, throughout the world. But I didn't want them to be siloed. So how about we bring in something? So it's a bit like a mixing bowl, baking a cake. So let's chuck in those four ingredients in a bowl. And let's chuck in this antidote to fear about different stories. And by the way, let's sprinkle loads of fun in there as well. Fun, loving energy. So, there's a lot of great content in there, but there's a lot of fun, loving energy as well. So really, to go back to your question, Raki, it's around this whole kind of, let's bake a metaphoric cake that, to my level of awareness, and I'm starting to be proved wrong, but there's not a book out there like this at the moment. And there may be technical books, I don't know. But the key thing, at the risk of repeating, is to infuse it with that love and that energy. And for me, as the one that kind of had the idea presented to me, because I sit in solitude and silence for a lot of time, and things come in that peace and that solitude and silence. And so I don't knee jerk on them. I'll let it soak. And I almost want the idea to go away. But if it doesn't go away, right, okay, this needs to be dealt with. This
Mhm.
needs to be dealt with. I reached out to Corey, and I've said earlier on, and yet again,
Mhm.
no apologies for repeating. That man has become more than a brother to me, and I'll leave it at that.
Mhm.
Corey, I've got this idea. What do you think? Love it. Okay, well, I've got some people I can bring in. What do you think? Well, where's your main areas? This, that, yeah, right. You need to reach out to this person. Let me broker it. You need to reach out to this person. Let me broker it. And between the two of us, we come up with this amazing ensemble. There's 10 of us that are responsible for this great
Yes.
collaboration in total. And that's kind of it, really. But
Yeah.
there again, sort of trusting that the right people will show at the right time for the right reason, rather than, oh, let me just reach out and get somebody to talk about education. I'll get them on my podcast. We can talk
Yeah.
about education, and yeah, that'll do. We'll get it transcribed, or they can write the chapter and it's in the book. No, no, no.
Mhm.
Let's not. Let's reach out to Raki and say, Raki, a mutual friend and brother of ours, Corey, has suggested we touch base.
Mhm.
And then we have a conversation. And obviously, the power of that conversation. Right, okay. And the rest is history.
Mhm.
For Raki times read another 8 people, we've got this amazing book.
Mhm. Mhm. And the reason why I asked to ask you to go into the specifics of that is because I really wanted to highlight how people can come together in unison and really create something so powerful that can be life changing for many. And that's why I asked for the specifics. I was like, how did it come about? Really, individuals come together. We have to come together. For me, that's been always one of the main things and main missions in my life: leading with kindness, leading with love, and making sure we always have someone to just support us, so support a community that is able to embrace our dreams and visions. And you've done just that. You brought the right people together in order to highlight something that is it's present in modern society, right? But also relating it back to how we've, I guess, brought it through our lives and journeys. And I just think it's fantastic. And like I said, I admire you. But let us know how and where we can find the book. I know everybody's like, we're talking about the book, but where can we get it?
So there's a promotion, a Kindle promotion on Amazon at the moment. So just type in, as you've shown the book there, EI and AI through the eyes of the recycled teenager. Type that in on Amazon. You'll see it's a 99 cents. Let's say $1, €1, £1 sterling, and that lasts till the 31st of October. And of course, the paperback version's available now as well, but that's not on a promotion. So, for €1, $1, £1, I mean, what's the price of a coffee these days? You've got an immensely powerful resource and an enjoyable read as well, because I think that's so important. I look at these things, the books I co-create, I look at them through, in many respects, the eyes of people that want to have fun. And I think fun and love, music, that's been mentioned a few times, is so, and every pun intended with this, by the way, so instrumental in our lives. Maybe we can all have a collective song. I know we've had a little bit of a warm up with Happy Birthday, but I don't know.
Yes.
To let our voices be heard, because I think each
Yes.
and every one of us, all 8 billion of us on this planet, each and
Mhm.
every one of us, our
Mhm.
voices need to be heard. And the reason I feel so strongly about that personally is because they tried to silence me as a child,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't be
Mhm.
silenced. I didn't know why. As I've said, I didn't understand why. I'm kind of making sense of it now. And then when you infuse that with the absolute honor, privilege, the beauty to be immersed in so much loving energy with people, I call them my zanies, because we're mad as hatters. I think we're mad as hatters, but I mean that in the most loving, respectful way, because we're not afraid to talk about love. We're
Mhm.
not frightened to show our feelings and our vulnerability. These are the things that really, in my humble opinion, it's only my story, but it's one that serves me well, and certainly has served my clients very well. When we start to change the script of what really is serving us, because it's
Mm-hmm.
only a story.
I love that. I love that you're mentioning that, Paul, just because I firmly believe, and this is another intersection that we have, you and I, that, it's time to change narratives. It really, it's just, for me, in my specific case, I need to break generational curses that are not conducive to me being more of a productive individual for society or for myself. And so that is my aim. And in this chapter, you'll understand the reasoning why, for me, falling back into education and how technology helped me kind of heal, right, and stop those generational curses, so that my daughters and my future generations don't have to feel guilty for doing something that they want to do as an individual. So I just think that it's been such a liberating and healing journey for me, and again, I thank you for that opportunity to voice my message to the world. And having said that, like, what is your aspiration in regards to the impact that this book will create? The lessons that we shared. What do you think? What is the message that you want the viewers to take away?
What a great question. The vision that's kind of attached to this book is it's part of a trilogy. It's the first, to use an old boxing term, it's the first jab. It's the first jab. And to start raising awareness around this thing called fear, whether it's AI. Yes, the big focal point of this book is absolutely AI. Absolutely. It hits it kind of fair and square. But the real underpinning thing is fear, and more profoundly, the stories we tell ourselves. And I think once we start raising that awareness on whatever the topic is, and I think there's, from what I've read with this book, and obviously being responsible putting it together with Kristen Johnson, Kristen, I don't think is on the call, but it's this massive need to start alleviating fear, because it holds so many of us back in so many ways. And oftentimes it's just the little things. I've posted something on another platform that I'm so honored to be involved with, Voice. And it's around this, what challenges do we have in life? There's this whole thing about, unless we really do radical, big, life-changing initiatives, they don't count. Yes, they do. It's the little things that matter. And I've had this kind of debate with people many, many times. No, it's got to be monumental. And I said, if ever you doubt that a little thing can have such a massive impact, you try walking around with a pebble in your shoe.
Ooh, yeah.
That's only a little thing,
Yeah.
and it'll cause you so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a great metaphor for us saying, with books like this, with conversations like this, guys, do you know what? Let's just take a breather. Let's talk to somebody, because somebody might just say, do you know what, Paul? Take a breather and take that pebble out of your shoe. Oh, I never thought of that. Thank you.
And sometimes it's that little, I mean, the tiniest of pebbles, but if it's got that sharp edge and you keep ignoring it, thinking it's a little thing, but it's constantly nagging at you, it will cut skin at some point, and it will be bigger than what it should have been. Take it, take the time to just take off that damn shoe and just, pull it out. But just acknowledge that it's there is so incredible. I'm guilty. So why do you think we're so guilty of this? We know that pebble's sitting there. What do you think really stops us outside of the fear? Is it the fear of the unknown that more than anything, or fear of the failure?
I think that's
What do
wrapped
you
up
think?
in, when you look at the 6 human needs of psychology model, it's wrapped up in the first need, the need for certainty. How many times have you heard this saying, better the devil you know? I've had people come to me, I've got toothache. Well, go to the dentist then. No, it'll be okay. Well, at the risk of kind of being a bit harsh, either put up or shut up. It's not that much of a problem. But that cliche of better the devil you know. Our first, you look at Robbins's model of the 6 human needs. It's transformed my life. One of many things is not just one thing, but that need for certainty. Because as a newborn child, what's one of the first things we learn? That if we start crying, we get attention. Oh, That's called control. And then we learn that behavior from an early age. And if I really play up, I'll get nurtured, I'll get fed, I'll get changed. And, we kind of carry that on. So that control, that need for certainty is massive, massive in our world. So that's really, even with fear, better, yes, I don't quite like it, but I've seen it because I know what I'm dealing with this fear, rather than, I don't want to step into the unknown, because that's the other side of the certainty, is the uncertainty. And, a lot of people stroke most, and I don't like using statements, generalist statements like that. But the reality is, when you look at the science and the evidence behind us as humans, we will subscribe to better the devil and put up with it. I can only speak of the British culture. The stiff upper lip, big boys don't cry, crack on, get on with it.
Yeah.
It's such nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. And my gosh, like we have so much to unpack, no joke, but I know we're running out of time and I don't like this. And you speaking so much of, like the evil and the devil and these negative forces, but you're over there looking so angelic with this like halo of light on you. And I'm just like, oh, look at him. He's full of light. And I love it. Just because he's
Like is it like a brilliant beam of light, Raquel?
it is like a brilliant, don't just look at him. He's just like glowing. I love it. But it's important, like you said, to really start having these conversations surrounding fear, and why do we fear fear? Why does fear paralyze us? And it really just takes a lot of surrounding yourself with the right people to continue feeding, right, those positive vibes and give you that courage. But ultimately, the only person who can take that step is you, oneself. And that the example with the pebble, absolutely, that brings it home. That really cements it. And hopefully individuals will really understand that. But I want to ask you, if you were to give a golden nugget as a departing message for the viewers, for the audience, what would be the biggest takeaway for them today because of this show?
There's kind of two, but it's wrapped up in one. And if I can use the example of, let's imagine, say a championship boxer, and you take a photo, and the guy or the girl's got their hands in their air, and they've won a champion. They're world champion. Life's champions emerge because they learn to let go of the pain from the past, but not the lessons learned. So that's been massive for me. And those three words, let it go. I had a conversation with a very eminent practitioner some moons ago, and he asked me, Paul, what do you think are the most important words in the world? 3 words. You've only got 3 words. What are they? And of course, I come out with that immortal, that saying, I love you. And the guy said, thank you, Paul. It's a long time since a guy's told me that, but I appreciate that. But he said, no, the 3 words are let it go. And for me, that speaks to our story. If our story's not serving us, it's time to let it go.
Oh, Jesus. I'm like, I got goosebumps, but that's why you're such an amazing storyteller. And that applies, right, to so many of us, to learn to let it go. Doesn't it, Syya?
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, I can't sing. I mean, I really can't sing, but I really can't sing either. But anyway, no, you know how I feel about this. I've said this so many times, let it go, because if something's not serving you, it becomes toxic. And it's not a healthy way to live. It's not something that, the way I say is, appreciate that you're feeling an emotion in that moment in time, because it's there. Own it, accept it, and it's okay to feel it. That anger, that disappointment, that frustration, that embarrassment, the humiliation, humility, whatever it is. But it's important not to dwell on it. And so I could not agree with you more, Paul. Now he's really like shining light now. Woo, you're getting really like, oh, I wish I had a music that would have like, oh, I do. Hold on.
It's a beam.
I do.
Like a beam.
I do.
Yay! Paul is like, what did I get get myself into. This is what you
I
get,
know.
bro.
I totally ADD'd my thought. Okay, so what I was trying to say is this is it is important to let it go because with so many things and traumas that we have in our life, challenges that we have on our daily basis, if we continue to carry that baggage of weight of our past experiences and we don't learn from it, then you really haven't you haven't moved. You haven't like progress in your life journey if you're always stuck in that one moment in time that caused you great trauma and pain. I'm not saying that it's not there. Obviously, it's there, but at some point, what can you learn from it in a way that you can take that nugget wisdom? So it's not a pebble in your shoe, but maybe it's something in your like a good luck pet rock in your pocket, right? That's where I think there's so much opportunity in it, and so that's why I'm beyond stoked to learn more about you, Paul, because
He's
I'm just going
amazing.
to say, I can't wait to read your guys' book and your inputs on that because
Yeah.
I'm always so fascinated. And obviously, with technology,
Hmm.
and this is my unabashed pitch again, guys. Here's why I'm asking for this. As everyone knows on LinkedIn, in order to stream on LinkedIn, you need 150 followers. We just launched this whole show and concept, and so I'm begging you, please, 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 for your kindness, is if you could just give it a click there and scan that and follow real Checkpoint Real Talk so we can actually go live stream on that platform and profile. It would be very huge uh, favor to me. So we're at 101, I think, right now, Raquel.
Ooh,
So
okay.
just 49 more people just to get us over that hump. And after that, I promise I won't stop annoying you, unless, of course, you just want to be entertained and want to look at technology in a different perspective,
Right.
different lens, get to know the crew at Checkpoint Software Technologies. I really appreciate it, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. For example, for those who are curious, on the roster, we're going to go over Ex Machina, and we have a surprise guest for that one. Her. We've done the IT crowd. We're looking at that one. We're looking at War Games, The Good Doctor, um, and many others. So you
Wow.
guys, if you have recommendations, I know I've heard of Sneakers, Hackers, all that one. We're looking at those as well. But if you have any others, Star Trek, for example, or something, we're happy to investigate and play along. Someone made the suggestion of what's that movie Die Hard?
Oh my
Like
God.
we can look at Die Hard too if you want to, just whatever tickles your fancy, guys.
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
please, please, it'd be really awesome for you guys to just follow on LinkedIn. And if you're not a LinkedIner, that's fine. For those on YouTube, there is a YouTube channel. You can find Checkpoint Real Talk both on Checkpoint Software Technologies main YouTube channel and also Checkpoint Real Talk's separated focus channel. So either way, would love to have you guys support us along the line.
Love
That's my pitch,
that.
girl. Thank you so much. I just I had just get us to 150. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure the audience will definitely, just come and support it because that's what we're all about. They really are able to support it, support, Checkpoint Real Talk, support our book. It's just amazing. EI and AI, just don't forget the recycled teenager. So through the eyes of this recycled teenager, I'm going to make a post on it too with a direct link, just because I think it's amazing. I'm not biased or anything. I'm not. I'm just kidding. But I just think, Paul, your story, you are an inspiration. I mean, I cannot say it any other way. Your illustrious career and everything that you've injected into your community, into the world, all the fantastic vibes and the positivity that oozes out of your pores. I admire you. I thank you, and I respect you so much, and giving me the opportunity to walk alongside your journey as well, and you and mine. So to everyone out there, please support the book, the launch. Like I said, I'll post it later on today with the link. I posted it yesterday, or no, it was earlier this week. But we are here. We're one. We're together. We're united. Never feel alone. You are not alone. One thing that I will definitely leave you with as a parting nugget from my end is I lost so much of me trying to fit into someone else's world. Never lose yourself. I've it's been liberating for the last 3 years to say that I'm finally living the life that I've envisioned for myself, whether that's, becoming the professional, being that personal individual that in my personal life, being me, Raquel, without anyone holding me back. So I urge you to do the same. If you find yourself in that situation, reach out to one of us. As part of my platform, also I am a mental health advocate, and we are here through Walking Tall movement. Shout out to my good brother, my good dear friend and brother, Chris Malazewski, Tout Blyleven, and also Dr. Vanilla Rosa. We are here for you. We are not alone. And as AI, comes to our life, we have to make sure that our EI is well balanced. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Enjoy this Halloween festivities. And just remember, hug your family, hug a loved one. Just make sure that you put out the good vibes out there. Okay. All right, guys. Until next time, I love you. Thank you so much. And Mr. Paul, again, thank you so much for honoring you with your presence. We love you. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.